portion of this video is very important to understand the Docker volume. Most of the time when you are start learning in Docker, you are very anxious about the volume section, and you can't understand or use appropriately what type of scenario in which type of volume you use. Okay, and this portion, if you concentrate it, I will teach you every portion, and then you feel very comfortable in Docker volume. If you search about the Docker volume, and here there are different type of volume. They describe us how to create volume and Docker. If I write the type of Docker volume types, you need to, when you are free, please read this document in Docker about the volume. After watching my video, that help you to understand it properly. Docker volume types. Okay, so there are three different type of volume in Docker, and I will teach you every portion. So without document, I am hands-on provide you example about your volume. For your understanding properly, I am adding another two container for Docker, that is Docker MySQL or my Parcona MySQL is another. And you know, in every database system you need a graphical UI tool to see the view, so I need another Docker image for Docker php myadmin. Okay, here is a two image, and I run both of this image. Okay, so I copy it, and in my VS Code paste this line. So it's I provide name is MySQL and Parcona. If you go there, and here you see the different version. If I write if not provide any tag, then it download the latest, that is 5.7. no, I want to 8.0 version, so I define the tag 8.0, and it's also opening detach mode and need to provide a password. So my password is my default password, and I also open a port in MySQL. Default port is 3306 and 3306 I provided. Okay, so it's my Parcona image, so I copy it and open it. It's first of all it not find the image, so I pause the video to complete the download, and comes after some time later. Okay, the image download is completed. Now we need another container for phpMyAdmin. If I go their uses, yeah, I copy it, and in our VS Code paste it, and here you see new tag, that is link. Because if you are using phpMyAdmin, you need to attach this container with the Parcona. If you are using in SQL Server, you know, in SQL Server Management Studio, you need to tag this container. So if you using MongoDB, then you need to tag a MongoDB with Mongo Express. So same type, if you are using the phpMyAdmin, you need to link with it your MySQL container. So my container is my MySQL, that is MySQL DB server. Here I modify it and it open. Suppose I change another port 8055, inside container it opening port 80, and my name is my Parkona admin. Okay, so I think everything is completed. Now I copy it and paste it. Same, the our phpMyAdmin image is not present, so it's also start downloading from Docker Hub. It's also a large image, so I also again pause the video. So almost done, within some second is completed. First time we need time because we don't have any phpMyAdmin image in our system. Yeah, you see, so some error, my MySQL could not get container. Okay, so I first docker ps, you see Parkona is running, nginx ready is also coming, but if I hyphen a, you see, yeah, the image is not starting. I think some problem in my image name, my MySQL. Yeah, you see a r is present there, so I copy it again and inside the clear and paste the command again, and you see now the container is running successfully. If I go docker ps, you see my 4 image is running properly. If I go and phpMyAdmin is running 8055 location. If I go localhost, that means 8055, you'll see the phpMyAdmin is come successfully. MySQL default user is root, and I also provided the password. My password is my password. If I paste the password and go, yeah, I enter the database successfully. Here I created a DB, test DB or university DB, and create and table, suppose in department. For understanding, I create 3 column and go, that is id, name and code. Okay, so it's a auto increment and primary key, and it's the data type of worker, and worker like 200, so 200 is for your understanding. I create save, our table is created, and create insert name, suppose bachelor of business, and code is BBA, and computer science and engineering, and the code is CSE, and click go. Here you see 2 data is inserted successfully. But if I delete the container, data also removed from the system. But a website data and database data, two is different, because if you are developing a website, if you drop your website, suppose your website is running in nginx, if your website data is lost, you have not any issue, because in github or your DevOps team has your application data, your application, or your project data also stay from them. okay, or in your GitHub repository. You can again in copy and publish it in your server. But this is the persistent data, because when a user registered, login, transaction, all data is inserted in DB. But this type of data you cannot find in your GitHub repo or any others area. So if this data is lost, you are facing huge problem. Your business is damaged, or your full application is damaged properly. So this data in database type data is very important data in your application. But your application data, that is, you see, we know our application is running here. Your website data is not very important data, important but not too much important, because if you lost this data you can get in your backup, but in your persistent data you cannot find anywhere. So two type of scenario here present. What is persistent data? Any database related type of data is a persistent data, or this type of data you have not any backup any area, that's this type of data is called persistent data. And website data is not persistent data. Okay, so how can we prevent this type of loss? I showing you here. If I stop the container, docker container rm hyphen f, and my parcon admin, not, if I delete the mysql and also my parcon admin, that you see I deleted both of the container. If I create this container again, another from there I also showing you another very important concept. How can you write multiline? So if you want to write multiline, that in Linux you need this tag. Okay, so this tag is for multiline uses in command line. If I run it, you see the multiline is running. Okay, so mysql is run. Again I run multiline for docker run slash my parcon admin slash enter, and here also another multiline and port and for image. Okay, so I copy it again and run. Okay, both images running successfully. If I go again phpMyAdmin and going to the my pass wrd, you see my db also deleted. That's now we are facing a huge problem there. So how can we solve it? Okay, there are different scenario, but the best scenario I am showing you has another important part is docker volume. If I write docker volume ls, so when you are using persistent data, best solution is use docker volume. Okay, so how can we solve this type of problem? Now I created a volume, docker volume create my mysql data. Okay, so I created a volume for my persistent data. Now I need to remove both of the image again. So I have a command. Yeah, I created both of the image. So persistent data, which image is needed is this image, because this image is our database data, and this also for admin portal. Okay, so here I need to provide the parcona. So parcona, when you are creating this container, please use uh, this volume. Okay, so how can we tag volume in our container? If I go to the parcona db, so here you see the parcona structure, and docker volume, and if I go to there is a configuration. I not need configuration, I need only for data. So if I go further and further, so yeah, var leave mysql, here mysql there stored their data. Okay, so I copy this line also, I copy, and in my VS Code I paste it. First portion is your volume location or your volume name. Okay, so my volume name is my Parkona admin. If I copy it and paste it, okay, so again I create this container, paste it, it creates some problem. Control C. Why this problem? I forget to add any next line command. I again copy it and paste it. Okay, so now I run the phpMyAdmin again. Okay, so phpMyAdmin started, and again MySQL also started. Now again I create my user and my password. My password is my password. Okay, so I create another db here, again db university, create, I create a column, name of the table that is department, and create again 3 column, create go, add id and name, suppose code, and this is the worker, and worker id is auto increment and primary, and click save, sorry, and 200 and click to save, and create the inside data, Bachelor of Business, BBA, BBA Computer Science and Engineering, CSC. Okay, I click the go, and you see in my database portion has a new db that is university, and their department also present their table. Okay, now again I remove my both of the database. Okay, so rm, again I remove everything, remove container. Now again I install this container, and again the admin portal. Okay, now I go to my MySQL and refresh, and need to again username password. My password is my password. Where is the problem? Admin, need to check something. Okay, now you see I'm for what is my mistake there. Now you see, if I drop the database, drop the container, but you see the department table also present there. So why department data is not deleted? That cause I create a docker volume and assign docker volume inside our container. So when you are using persistent data, then is the best solution using docker volume. So if I write docker volume ls, you see my MySQL data volume is present there. Okay, so what we do there, first I create a volume, the name is my MySQL data, then when are I creating a volume, I creating a container, then I assign the volume name inside the container. So again, if I remove the container again and again, if I remove container again, you see, remove, and if I change the name, that not impact anything. If I write my mysql 123 and copy the name here also, my mysql 123, but you see not any impact arise there. So I run it, okay, and copy here and paste it. I create another container, different name, docker ps. You see different container is running. If I go to browser and refresh and enter the new container root and password is my password, you see the university data is not lost. Okay, so here if you are using persistent data, best solution using docker volume. Okay, so now I think you understand how to use docker volume. One part I only describe, one part, that is persistent data. Next part I am show the location volume or name volume. Okay, so bye bye.